Whoa.
Whoa. And we are live. GM Farcaster and all the ships at sea. We are live, and I'm going to just retweet this as well. It also can be seen on Twitter. It's live on YouTube. And if you are watching on Twitter, say hello. Oops, I could hear myself. That's never good. And I'm just going to retweet this really quick to make sure people know we are live right now. And I'm excited to talk about Crypto the Game. I have had a blast. I watched the first 2 seasons. I did not play, knowing I did not have time to play, and I was accurate in my assessment after playing this time. But I sat with a lot of FOMO the past 2 seasons. So it was great to finally play. And we are here with Humpty, Poe, Evan, Christopher, Eric, and winner of season 3 of Crypto the Game, Ted herself. So first off, round of applause, Ted.
Thank you. I have to give a huge shout out right now, immediate shout out to Evan, who is on the Green Tribe with me and knows we went through so much together. So much. So
through it. Yeah. So that's interesting because I have a question for you, but I'm going to get to it later. I want to start first. I kind of want to walk through this as like the game played out a little bit, and have you guys jump in with your comments. But I want to start just kind of setting the stage of like which we started the game. We're assigned to random tribes. Where did you start, Humpty? Where did you start out, and then where did you get swapped to, and where did you end up?
I started with the only tribe that mattered, Green Tribe. I'm gonna start with that.
I know,
really
Humpty. I know.
The only tribe that mattered. I got forcibly removed and put into Pink Tribe.
That's called a swap, but okay.
Forcibly
we have Devin
removed
on next week, and Dylan on next week, and I'm going to say forcibly removed is going to be my new term.
Absolutely. And then, as I've been trying to explain to people, I thought that when we had that vote to go back to our tribes, it was a psychological game that if we said, hey, I'm going back to green, I was revealing my preference and would get voted out by pink. So I stayed on pink, and I never got back to green tribe because I got voted out.
Okay, so you went from green to pink, stayed in pink. Poe,
Yes.
Where did you start? Where did you go? What happened? Where'd you end up?
Yeah, started on Aqua and had an IRL friend, which is really cool. But then we both got split up during the swap. And so when it happened, I'm like, okay, well, I'm starting to meet the yellow tribe. But when I heard all these people are going back to Aqua, I'm like, okay, I think that'll just strengthen the bond, like to leave or be forcefully removed and then to come back again.
Forcefully removed. New term.
and on Aqua.
Evan, what happened with you?
Yeah, so started on the Green Tribe, as we have discussed already. I got switched over to Aqua, and the middle Aqua, it was kind of a cool team. We were still pretty, yeah, you were there as well. But we started hearing most of the people were going back to where they came from, and a lot of Aquas were coming back. And really, though, the vibes on Green had been so immaculate that, once confirmed that everyone was feeling the same way, had to head right back to Green.
Had to go right back to green. Okay. All right. And that's what I kind of thought might happen. Christopher, where did you start? Where'd you end up?
I started out with purple, and then we had the option to switch. Purple the night before had assassinated their G Sheet admin. And so I decided that would not be the best course of action for myself. And then I decided to stay with pink. So
yeah. Wait. That was you?
That was his tribe. He wasn't there.
That was the original tribe. Yeah, Jack.
Yeah.
They killed Jack.
Sorry. I misheard. I thought you said that you assassinated.
No.
And I was like,
no.
I was like, I need to come.
I think Jack,
because that crushed my soul.
Yeah, Jack ended up like organizing the vote with 30 minutes left of voting, and then they just like sniped him immediately.
5. He had like 5 votes on him at the end, and we were like, "What?
Yeah.
What just happened?" And then Erica, where'd you start? Where'd you end up?
I started on yellow, and then I got forcibly removed to red. And then I decided
Humpty
to
started a
stick
thing.
with where I was forcibly removed to, and
So you
so I
stayed
stayed
in
on
red.
red team. Yes.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
Ted, what happened with you? You started on green.
Started on green, got swapped to purple as well.
Oh, okay.
And then after I was, I think the day when you found out you were swapping back, everyone was just like DMing their, like everyone who's on the
Yeah.
last tribe being like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
What's happening?
And so I
Yeah.
switched back to green, and everyone on purple was like, wow, really? And then purple got immunity the next challenge. And then I got a lot of DMs that were like, don't you wish you stayed on purple? And I was like, no, actually, I'm so happy I stayed on green. It was like the best decision ever.
And green did get immunity a challenge or two later, so that was also good.
So I started on orange. I swapped to aqua. Was not happy because the day before, orange had won immunity. And we had already figured out these 10 people who didn't do shit, who were going if we had to vote anybody out. So I was like, I'm safe for a couple days at least. Like, I'm good. I'll just chill and it'll be great. And then I get swapped over to aqua and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know any of these people. And half of them are from green. And oh my God. And I didn't know what to do. So I went back to orange thinking it was safer for me. In the meantime, and Snacks was supposed to be here, and I just sent him a message because what happened while I was gone was that Snacks got swapped over to orange and caused a whole like cluster of insanity while I was gone and ripped that place apart. And I go back and I'm like the guy with the pizza with the fire. Like, what happened over here? Like, what'd you guys do to me?
Snacks was previously green, so
right.
If he doesn't end up showing, Ted and I might have just pieces of it, not the whole story.
Yeah,
but
he said he's on his way. Yeah, he said he's on his way. Because he like went in and he like, so I'm going to step back for a second because the orange drama was amusing. The night before too, there was a pact that some of them had done. I didn't even see this document, but I saw it on Boys Club and I'm like, oh, that's the orange pact. So they started floating this idea. We're going to have a pact and we're all going to work together. And I'm like, little early for me to get into a legal document with people I just met on the internet. Like, no, but I said it very nicely, like, hey, think it's too early. Like me trying to be like very political of like, I'm not doing this. Are you crazy? This is a bad idea. And it turned out to be a really bad idea. Ended up putting targets on everybody. And then Snacks comes in and like rips things apart. He ends up getting voted out in that process. And I come back to orange and it's a cluster, an absolute cluster. And here's the thing I feel the worst about is that while I did this live on GM Farcaster, I did my swap live. So Yes to Crypto is in the chat while I'm doing this. And he had been swapped over from pink to orange. And he's like, oh, if you're going back to orange, I'll just stay where I am. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a good idea or not. And it turned out to be a very bad idea for him. Like, I really feel bad about that. I tried to save him multiple times during the next 2 days, and it was not good. There was some fuckery happening in the background with spreadsheets and, oh, here's Snacks. Okay, so Snacks, we were just talking about you. We kind of level set where everybody went. And I did say that you had started at green. You moved over to orange. I had left orange, gone to aqua. I was coming back to orange and found out you had blown the place up while I was gone. I was the guy with the pizza walking into like fire burning. Like, what'd you do to my nice little tribe who everybody was kumbayaing? And you blew the place up. And then you left. You were like, peace. See ya. So Snacks, we can't hear you though. I'm not sure if your things are working. But yeah, you left a bit of rubble in your wake. Yeah, I still can't hear you. Can anybody hear him? Okay, so it's not just me. We may have to have you go out, reconnect, or just check your settings. Make sure it's picking up the correct microphone. Sometimes it picks up the wrong one. So check your audio settings in the settings. So now we're back in these tribes. It's a little bit more chaotic. now we're at, where are we at? Now we're at the, are we at Brick Breaker yet? It might be a Brick Breaker at this point.
No, you're missing the.
What am I missing?
You're missing. Oh, there's
Pinball?
pinball and
Yeah.
the
puzzle.
pizza thing.
Pinball
too.
had happened before the swap, though. So
Okay,
pinball,
fair.
which was great. Oh, but I did want to mention pinball because Christopher, what the hell? Christopher crushed pinball, crushed it. Like
Erica also
incredible.
crushed it. I will say,
Also
I
crushed
know
it.
this for a fact. Erica also crushed it too.
Crushed it.
But Christopher also.
Christopher
like,
was sitting there at the top of the leaderboard
Evan,
of like everybody.
hold on. Evan
Everybody.
too. Evan had
Evan
figured
too.
it out. Evan,
Yeah.
I think you swapped places with your wife at one point so that you could go to the bathroom.
She just well, we figured out a hack where
Yeah.
you could just
Yeah.
hold it to the side, but like
Yeah.
I had to go to the bathroom, so that someone needed to hold the pinball in the so
One
Like, hold
on
it
our team
here.
literally put their key down. Like they sent
Yeah.
a picture in our Telegram chat and they had put a piece of Scotch tape down on their
Oh
left.
my
key.
God.
They didn't have to hold it down with their finger for like an hour.
Testing.
So the other, we hear you. We hear you. The other thing was W. You could play W or up button, and it would just like go, and you didn't have to flip the things. And there was a bunch of different hacks that different people were trying. And Orange had figured out a bunch of those hacks. So on average, we were better. So we ended up winning that immunity. But like some of y'all put up some numbers that were crazy, like crazy
Pink
town.
figured it out too, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think Pink
Yeah.
got it. But I don't know if anybody else had this issue where after a while, the little I don't even play pinball, so I don't know what it's called. It would just
flipper?
die.
Oh,
So
yeah.
And then I
what
was
was
like,
going
"Ah,
on?
I
What was
never
happening
got-"
was if you used the W or like the one that made it go
Yeah.
up high,
Yeah.
you did have to like reset the flippers
Yeah.
every once in a while because it would
Yep.
eventually come back down. If you were playing
If you
I'm just
found the
gonna-
little side door, the
if you were
trap
playing
door.
side
Yeah.
and then shift and you were just sort of knocking it up, then if it stopped working, it was because your finger stopped working.
Okay, well, that's my Gen X finger. Apparently, it didn't
There
have
we
the
go.
strength.
This is
to
where
hold
it comes in. This is where it comes in. We did not have the finger strength.
Yeah, they're
to
not as
continue.
nimble as they used to be.
But I loved the pinball game. Like I really did enjoy it. It was a lot of fun. And that was fun figuring it out and figuring like I liked the games where because you could like spend some time figuring them out and figure out how am I going to do this? The puzzles were much tougher. Except the pizza one. The pizza one we were like right behind Pink. I think it was Pink who won that one, right? I think it was Pink. Am I correct? No? Who won?
don't
Who
think
won pizza?
Purple
Purple?
found
Because
out. But
Purple.
we had
like-
Austin from Doodles run to the store,
Yeah.
and apparently he said that the cashier was expecting him to say the phrase instead of give him the phrase. And so I think he got like into a fist fight with the cashier and like wrangled like the piece of paper away, and then was like saying like Gene Parmesan ? And all that. And we were so confused. We're like, what about it? Like, what about Gene Parmesan?
Yeah.
We don't really care.
Like, what about it? Yeah. What's
Like,
next?
what's going on?
Yeah.
And then we realized, very quickly
to
that
enter
it was the password.
So I have a bone to pick with Dylan about this and the staff at Best Pizza because our team, we literally have the call logs. We called at like 5:10, like literally like 10 minutes after the challenge started. And we were on the phone with her for like 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And we were telling her like,
Yeah.
it's part of a game, blah, blah. And she's like, okay, give me the secret passphrase. And we're like, no,
you give it to
the
us.
secret passphrase. Like, you give us the
No.
secret passphrase. And we literally had a team member like on the phone with her for like 10 or 12 minutes straight.
Yeah.
And then she finally just hung up on us. And then the purple team got through to the line. And then she kept the woman on the phone for the next 20 minutes. So Mr. Austin
That's
here
why it was
could actually
busy.
get there in person.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
were the first team to figure it out.
That's so funny.
I-
Well,
The
to be fair,
staff
we
was
called
not
it too.
coached.
We
we,
called
we,
it
you know,
in.
we figured it out. We just didn't get there in time.
Yeah.
It was-
Same.
I think
But we were
everyone
also on
got
the
it.
phone, but they wouldn't
Yeah,
give us
we were
anything
on the
either.
phone.
By the
I
way,
couldn't
did
get
anyone
through the
call
phone.
other pizzerias in Williamsburg and be like, is it?
No.
I went down this rabbit hole of this one that Dylan had said was the best pizza in Williamsburg. It was like Giuseppe's or something. And I'm like calling and it's like busy. And then it's like a weird, you need to enter a code. And I'm like, what code do I need to enter? And I'm like, what is happening? And I was just in the wrong place. And I was like calling the completely wrong pizzeria. And I'm like, poor pizzerias in Williamsburg right now who have no idea what's going on. Who are getting calls like, do you have the secret pass code? And they're like, who are you? And what kind of pizza do you want to order? Like, what are you doing? And snacks, that's when I needed you. Like, that's when if you had stayed on Orange would have been really, really freaking helpful.
Well, this is hilarious to me because we know firsthand at Pizza Dad the difficulty with coordinating anything with pizzerias. You have to be really, and with anyone, honestly, but you have to be really specific because they expect you to call and order pizza and like not much else. So, because that's like that's what they're doing. So, yeah, hilarious.
Were you were already out before that challenge though, but were you helping Green
No, I
Tribe in
made
the
it.
background?
Oh, I was helping. I was eliminated like immediately after the switch because Orange did not
yeah.
like my strategy.
Yeah, because you went in
So,
and caused all
I was
kinds
around.
of chaos. Yeah.
But Snacks
I
was
just-
definitely still involved. He definitely
Yeah.
was in the green chats, keeping it going.
Oh no.
Wasn't
I was
this
just enforcing.
Yeah,
oh, go
it
ahead.
was so funny. Well, we were hearing about the orange drama, and then we had
Yeah.
somebody who bought an NFT like right after the swap back into it. And we were like, oh, during that voting that night, we were like, who is this person? And I was like, okay, I'm just going to stick my neck out there. We need one more person to eliminate. Why don't we eliminate the person who bought into the NFT? And then like it goes quiet. And all of a sudden we hear this voice that's like, hey, that's me. And we're all like, oh, shit. And so we're like, okay, you can speak your piece. Like here, like you can like vouch for why you should stay. And like, I'm sweating. Cause like, as soon as you say anybody should get voted off, like you're done. I'm like, this is it. This is the end of me. And he vouches. And Evan can say this. And we're all like, oh, okay. Like we can keep him in. And then in the other old green group chat, Snacks is still in there. And it's like playing out. And he's like, no, you guys, this dude was on Orange yesterday. And
Oh
so
my
it's
God.
like coming out in real time.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Never mind. Tell me in the chat who it was. I'm just curious. Like, don't tell me.
Well, we still don't know. He's a non, right?
Well,
Yeah, he's a
I
non, but,
probably
like,
know who it is.
we became homies. I was like, oh my gosh. Cause then as he was getting like voted off, he stayed in the Google Meet with us and he was just chilling. Like he wasn't angry. He wasn't upset. He was
so
just
funny.
like hanging out with everybody.
He was calling himself Bone in the Google Meet, so he became the Legend of Bone. And we're like, oh, we got to save Bone. And then someone else was like, wait, no, you can't eliminate my boss.
Oh my God, that's funny. That's really funny. So just to kind of, in case you're watching this and you haven't played Crypto Game and you didn't follow along as we went along, we did cover all of this, every single GM Farcaster at the very beginning. So we were going, as we went along, talking about the challenges, talking about everything. So there was, first day was just, immunity was Twitter. If you connected your Twitter, you were good. Second day, we have one of the puzzle challenges, and then we have the pinball, and then we have the swap, and then we have the pizza coming back, and then we have Brick Breaker, I think is the next one. No, Brick Breaker Sunday. Then we have Touch Grass, I think. But the whole time is this social game that's going on the whole entire time in the background. So if you are thinking you're going to take a break on a day that doesn't have a challenge, you are wrong. And you're probably going to leave. Oh, did you actually touch grass, take the day off, and think that was going to be okay, Humpty?
Christopher is the first to recognize that. I was like, it's the weekend. Here's my NFT. And that was my demise.
The funniest message in the group chat, Humpty, where you were like, Christopher goes, Humpty sacrificed himself, and you were like, I didn't know that I was sacrificing myself.
Well, actually, I got some alpha from Diana on Wednesday when we were chatting about this, because, again, the weekends are mine. I spend time with my wife and my kid. So I was like, I'm out. I got to go. Like, I got to touch grass. We're being encouraged to do this. So I gave Christopher my NFT. Diana said that there were some cabals on the side that then said that I was an alt for Christopher the whole time. And so for that reason, I needed to be voted out. I was like, I've been here. I've been on calls. I've showed my face.
I'm a human.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
a
here's-
because it went to
human.
a non-web wallet afterwards. People made an assumption that I suddenly was either
Funny.
in a cabal with Chris, or I was Chris's ult.
Yeah.
So funny.
And I think what happened was that I think Humpty was not going to vote, and so he delegated the vote to me that night before. And then there was a dramatic vote where like half of the team basically decided not to volunteer to vote out the inactive or like the anonymous accounts because they were probably trying to protect their folks.
Oh,
And
okay.
if Humpty had not said anything, it probably would not have like been a big deal. But the moment that he said it, and then after the vote he survived, I realized that he was dead. Like it was just unfortunate. It was just a matter of time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
you didn't tell
it's
me
about
that,
time.
Chris.
Well, no, like
You went
I
along with it.
said,
I didn't know any of this was happening. Christopher was
yeah.
like, excellent. Yes, he's dead.
Okay. But I
Yeah.
do want to say one of the most impressive things, other than the blue tribe abstaining from the vote. I don't know if no one here is on blue, but
Good.
I was
I don't
hearing
like them.
rumblings of Christopher's voting strategy, and like that is like the second behind the vote. It's like abstaining from votes. How you organized voting every night is truly the second most impressive thing. So like,
But it
someone was
will
like,
put a
no,
target on
you
your
have
back.
to volunteer
It
in
will
and
put a
out. And I
target
was
on
like,
your back.
whoa,
Yeah.
hold on, what? So can you walk us through how you did this? Because
Yeah. So
crazy.
I realized after like the second day that if you were any leader, you were dead. Like you were dead by default.
Yep.
And then I realized that if you survived and you were a Google admin, you were double dead. And the only way to survive was to try and get out as many of the cabals and the anonymous people as possible.
Absolutely.
Because you can't get trust. Like you cannot trust them for any vote in the future. There's always these side chats. And then what happened was that I basically did a whole bunch of Google Sheet Kung Fu to try and get like a stack rank. And I published that list really, really early, like before anyone can have any sort of like side chats. And then the next thing that you have to do is have one-on-one conversations with every single person to stack the vote. And we organized 30 votes. And it was every single night for like 4 nights in a row. Humpty can also attest to this. It was like crazy. You had people, you would call on them and say, you got to vote. And they would just like say, oh no, my wallet doesn't work, after they spent 7 hours in pinball or 7 hours playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, you're dead.
Were you
like,
having them show that they actually voted for who they voted? Like, were you requiring proof or anything like that? There was some of that going on too. It's like, prove to me you voted, or vote live.
This is the strategy for all the leaders going into the future. What you do is you ask the person to vote for the person on the line, the last person on the stack rank, because as soon as they vote for that person, it bumps it to the top.
Yeah.
And so I was writing down every person that voted, and then their vote actually changed the standings. And if they didn't, they were marked as a spy. And so I had like a whole separate list of people that I was like, the next vote, you're gone. Like, I'm just going to marshal votes out of you.
Yeah, that was a good strategy to actually see if people were doing what they said. And that's how people were able to discern, like, wait, I don't know if I can trust that person because I voted for this person and they said that, but it didn't actually change. I just want to quickly say on the Touch Grass Day, it was very cute that people that weren't in the crypto of the game were still involved. Like, there was that frame that was made. Ted, you shared it. And so I used
JC4P, shout out JC4P for making the frame. Yeah.
Very cute. But also, so I did touch grass. I had my snow picture. But in our tribe, there was a really good puzzler. And he just on his own made a puzzle for that day. Some of you might have seen it. It was like a Legend of Zelda. He's like, oh, for anyone that's missing puzzles, like I created this because I love it and like give it a try. So I, again, did not look at TG that day, but I went back and just saw all these people like asking questions. And yeah, it was online. So kind of cute to see.
I love seeing I love the touch grass frame. I love seeing all the touch grass. My freaking tribe, again, that Snacks went in and destroyed. Now the crazy people were going crazier. We're like creating a spreadsheet where like you had to cast that you touched grass, prove it, and put it in this freaking spreadsheet. And I was like,
that's
this is so
too much.
So this is my response was, that is so freaking dumb. My public response was, oh yeah, of course I did. Here it is, blah, blah, blah. Like I had I had a very small crew of 4. We called ourselves Small Orange. I will not reveal who they are, but we had our own little chat and we were keeping an eye on each other. And we were like, so somebody pinged me like, hey, so-and-so is like, they might target people who don't, prove that they touch or whatever. And I was like, okay, here you go. So it was good to have like those side folks who could like keep an eye on you, watch your back. So that was all going down. And then that vote that happened led to this, which Snacks, I'm about to bring you back in, buddy. This happened. So I get a yeah. I'm just going to show that so people know it because it is insane. This is a chat from one of the Orange Cabal people this was the pact chat. So they made this pact day one. Snacks went in, blew some stuff up. They kept going and they started targeting people and made a list of like, here's who you're going to vote for, blah, blah, blah. And then there was this that came out. So like, if you don't like this cabal, here's who you should vote for. So it got crazy. And then this ended up on Boys Club and shared everywhere. So here's the thing that I didn't talk about when this all went down was that was sent to me by the person, that whole thread in a PDF. They sent this person who was in that chat, got kicked out of the chat, out of the Telegram chat. And then this person shared that PDF with me and one other person. And in this chat, I said, oh, somebody should go put this on a non-cast or super non. They said, oh, how do you know it's not already there? It was already there.
Wow.
So yeah, so that was really funny. So I knew all that stuff was going on and it was funny. The stuff that people were sending me was kind of hilarious, but here's who you should vote for chart. Somebody was like, this kind of looks like a chart that Snacks made one time. So somebody was either trying to frame you, Snacks, or I don't know. If you want to fess anything up, feel free. I don't know if you're involved in this.
So wasn't me. I was never allowed into the cabal, but those names were the ones that I identified. Same exact strategy as Christopher. If you watch the rankings, then you know who defected. And if you force them to vote and then they're like, oh, I can't vote or like whatever. If you don't have an hour to vote at the time that the shot caller says vote, you're out. Right. Is my position. If we want to eliminate Anons, if we want to eliminate cabal members, that's the strategy. You just low trust at the front. If you didn't vote, you're up, you're gone. So
and so there were people actually changing within Orange, changing their names on the Orange token so that it would show up vote for. It was like somebody 422, I figure out who that was, saying vote for yes to crypto. And like so that when it showed up on the screen, like when you were voting, it would say vote for 533.
I saw that. They were like offering bribes or something, it looked like.
Yes. Tons of bribes happening. Tons of bribes. It was insanity.
I kept a really tight spreadsheet that was sourced directly from the Crypto the Game website. And so if you changed your name, I would know instantly. And I think that people that are like good Google, also Google Sheets, like you have to be really good at that. Like your tribe has to like actually have their stuff together. Otherwise, you're just going to be chaos at the last 5 minutes of voting.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we get to like towards the end of this game. You've got all this Kabbalah stuff going on. It's day 8. So we're almost to the end here. And I'm watching these votes come in and I'm in a Google Meet, and I have it streaming with my little small Orange crew. And it's 7 minutes and somebody in the crew goes, oh, I think you're going to make it to me. And I'm like, I think you just jinxed me. 3 minutes, boom. And this is the day when there's tribes. This is the merge day. So we're merged into one. There's no more tribes. So the tribes in the background start really playing and the cabals in the background start playing and start saying, okay, here, let's get together and collab and we're going to make an alliance. So I get this message in the Orange chat. Hey, Green wants to align with Orange. And I'm like, that doesn't sound right. That sounds like we're being played. So I sent a message to a couple people. I'm not going to name who they are, but the message I got back from them was like, oh, this sounds like somebody trying really hard not to lie to me. you know who you are. And I was like, I don't think so. I don't think this is a real deal. But then I get another message from like a pink wants to align with orange. And I'm also like, not sure that's really true. All these things. The only one that I think was actual was red. And we didn't catch it early enough to actually do any kind of actual alignment. So it was utter chaos because people kept coming at us and I didn't believe any of it for a minute. I'm like, they're going to take out orange. They do not care. You guys are crazy. Like you've been all chaos. And they were going to go. So if anyone would like to share anything about merge day, which was
I will
nutty,
say, Christopher and
go
I
ahead.
can confirm that orange was on the pink and green hit list.
Of
We were
course it
not,
was.
neither of us were looking to alliance with you.
Of course it was.
Yeah,
And
I got a
Snacks
message.
was also Snacks. Now the Snacks just dropped off,
I
but
know.
Snacks was also
That's why he
pushing
jumped
his hit
out.
list.
Yeah, Snacks was
Yeah.
giving us his orange hit list and was like,
I know.
definitely get these people on orange, get them out.
You are not on the orange hit list, though, of course.
I know. I sent a message. I said to Snacks, look, here's my 4. Keep us safe if you can. And he said, I'll see what I can do. And I was like, okay, I don't trust this for a second.
Yeah. What happened? I can tell you what happened to orange. So I think Ted reached out, was brokering an alliance, and Pink had the most people. Like we were the most organized, and were able to get out most of the cabals and whatnot. And we brokered the alliance, had a conversation, got on a Google Meet, and then we're just sitting around, just like kicking around who to kill. And someone in the chat was like, would it be funny if we just eliminated blue after they abstained twice in a row? Because we have 45 votes each. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty funny. So we're going to do that. But then we realized that we don't have enough. And so we need to add another tribe.
You need to take out more people. Yeah.
30 minutes before that, someone had sent a message to me saying, hey, you should join this cabal that Yes2 Crypto was in. I could see in the Telegram chat, like all the people that were part of it. And I was like, oh, Orange has a cabal. They're trying to get me to join.
It wasn't him.
Or someone else. It was
it was someone pretending to be him. Yeah, it wasn't even him.
But from Orange.
From Orange.
Yeah, it was definitely people in Orange in there. And someone on the Pink tribe also was in there. And so I was like, well, we got to put Orange down. Like, it's just like, you just have to get rid of this now before it gets worse. Yeah. And so with that's why you're gone, was because you were on the list.
I knew that. I'm like, guys, there's no way the green wants to align with orange. You guys are insane. Like, there's absolutely no way that's true. You're being played. But and also then I was like, but also now I've kind of had it with all of you. So I'm going to go try and save myself and my crew. And, whatever happens, happens.
Also say that it's actually like an incredible feeling to be in like that 0 dark 30 room, like Ted and I basically calling in and saying,
it is
Prof, she's gone. And then they call the vote out and then she's just instantly eliminated. Like that's an incredible experience.
So that brings me to this, which is really funny. This is really funny. And again, like, oops, where did I go? There we go. The bounty, because it's funny how this ended up playing out. So I put a bounty out there. This is really funny. So I put a bounty out there. Hey, bounty bot, help me find who sniped me tonight in Crypto the Game. $20 USDC for verifiable proof of assassin's vote or a provable self-confession, public or private. 24-hour bounty to satisfy my curiosity. No revenge. And I get an immediate response from somebody, and you can choose to identify yourself as like.
Yes, me.
Because I don't know that everybody saw it. Because I was like, go erase that. And he told me flat out, here's what happened. We ran out of people. You took a strike. Because it was 3 minutes to go. And I'm watching it. And I'm like, oh, I got hit. I'm like, it's over.
That's the hard part. I got eliminated the day after, but I was in the first 3 minutes. So I just had an hour to sit and be like, all right, if you get eliminated at the last second, I think that would hurt way more.
Painful.
Yeah.
Painful.
Seeing those strays come in, actually, Christopher, like, I don't think you were on the board. And then at the very end, didn't you get like
same
votes?
thing?
Dude, that was iconic when you caught 10 votes at once.
Yeah.
And they did not like me. But the thing is that people like every day someone would give me a new NFT because either they were European and just wanted to sleep and did not want to like be awake during the vote. Or like Humpty,
They
like
were
they wanted to spend
American.
time
I
Humpty.
with
wanted
their
to
friends.
spend
I'm
time
taking
with
the
the
weekend
family.
off.
Exactly, exactly. And so I was out like multiple times in the game,
Yeah.
and then the same
That's why
thing that happened
I
with
couldn't
Ted.
tell if you were in or not. And same thing with Snacks. I'm like, are you guys in or are you just playing for fun? I'm confused. Are you still here? I couldn't
Yeah.
The
even
funniest part is that like I was in Christopher's shoes last year.
Yeah.
And I just remember I knew he kept being alive because I was like, he's so formidable. And then every next day you'd cast something, or like after the vote, you'd cast something that was like, you're like, we know he's still playing, but no one can figure out which ones. And
Right.
it's so funny because like finally on the last day when I was like, I thought I was out and was like, okay, I just need to help find my team to like kill the double agent so that no one else. I just went through all of the swaps, like, because everything's on chain. And I was like, I don't think that many people did this before. Like, you
Yeah.
could easily figure out who King Wilbert was because it used the same wallet address as the previous year. And so like
Okay.
no one actually like went and looked at the on-chain data. And then I started deducing and I was like, oh, I can almost see like all of the NFTs that have been given to Christopher. And I was like, I have a feeling on who the last one is, which is actually so impressive.
Yeah.
And it was like wildly impressive, but I'm sure it was like anxiety inducing. Like that was the one thing I learned from last year. I was like, I am not like, I can't do that again.
So I think that the first part is that terrorizing King Wilbert and not him not knowing who I was the entire time was absolutely phenomenally fun. And the second part is that it's very, very important as a Google Sheet admin to keep the people that you trust off a list, because that list
Yeah.
gets shopped around. And
Yes.
Humpty got
Yes.
taken off the list.
Biggest
And-
mistake I made was, do you remember they did the big group chat after the merge and they created a spreadsheet? And I was like, oh, put me on it. And then I'm like, why the fuck did I do that? Now
Yeah,
I
don't
just
do that.
helped them create it
Just take it
with
off the list.
orange next to me. I'm
Somebody
like, that was
put my name on that
That's how
list,
I
and
got-
I didn't even do that.
That's how I got nailed too.
I'm like,
Yeah,
that
that
was dumb.
spreadsheet.
And then I went in and changed my tribe to green, like during that vote, because I'm like, I got to get out of orange. I'm like, I got to go change, because that was the only thing you could change. I was trying to delete
Well,
the whole
green
row, and
got
I'm like, I
targeted
can't.
the next day. Green got
I know,
targeted
but I
the
was like,
next
I
day,
think
so-
if I change myself to green, I might save myself.
Yeah.
Didn't work. Didn't work.
The other thing too is that the formulas are really hard to kind of mess up. And so what we do is like I couldn't save certain people on my own team from casting a vote. Like they were assigned a vote, but if they never showed up on the list of trusted people to begin with, like that is a huge strategy. So keeping your trusted people as a saved vote is super powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But that was like, yeah, it was really funny of realizing like, okay, sometimes it's good to be on a spreadsheet. Sometimes it's really, really bad because you're making it very easy to find you when they go to vote, especially when there's a ton of people to vote from. Like you're just looking for somebody you like, oh, okay, I'll vote for that one.
Yeah.
You know, it was fine. Yeah.
On the day that I knew I was going to get voted out, I was like, guys, I'm going to get a lot of votes. So if you can stack votes on me to save other people, like
That was
just
smart.
go for it.
That was smart.
And everyone was like, no, we have to save you. And I was like, there is literally no saving me.
Yeah.
Like once you get one vote, you're out. But
When you get towards the end, it just doesn't take much and it's very
No.
hard to save people.
However,
when you're
remember-
early, you can save people. Yeah.
Remember Ted, before the merge,
yes,
Ted
we
caught
did
a
save
vote.
us.
Yes. Before the
and
merge.
we were able to save her at the very last minute.
And Bomique, that was
when
what brought our
Green
tribe
really came
together.
Yeah.
That was like, I took a screen recording of it if there's no audio on it, but I'm like, what? Like, it was crazy. I want to hear how Aqua and Red were though, because I was like,
they were
Green and
quiet.
Pink were like
They were
so
quiet and
organized to almost like we were like overly organized, someone could say. But how is it for you guys?
I can quickly say we had a moment where we also had a save where someone was on the list. Well, I mean, you could see it live. It was Dina, where like she caught something, but then a bunch of us rallied to like get, and it was very last minute, like, did we save her? Do we save her? And then, she recorded the Boys Club pod and we saw we did. And that was always a really, team bonding moment where you all like tried to work together to save one of your own.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's funny. Somebody just said, I'm convinced that Chris is still alive in season 3.
Guys, he was alive. I'm
He
just
was
gonna
alive.
say this. I as soon as I saw the finalists, I was like, Christopher's still alive and he's on here. And I was like, is he going to go for it? And he did not go for
He
it.
decided not to.
But
Yeah.
No, it's just like also I think too, it's just like that last day I was exhausted, and it's just like I didn't care as much as I thought I would care.
Yeah.
And so I told
It was
Ted
very exhausting, for sure.
Yeah.
Exhausting
I told
game.
Ted before the night, I said if it was I had 5 or 6 NFTs to vote with. And if it was close, I was going to swing all the votes to her. I originally like wanted to vote for Bomi because I just love the masterful play. Like he did such a great job throughout the entire endeavor. But
And he won one of the immunities at the end too.
yeah, he won the
Yeah.
resurrection.
Yeah. Which was great. Those puzzles were freaking hard too when you got
I
towards the end.
know. I will say that I was like, everyone is like, did you play? And I'm like, you guys, I got an 18 million pinball score. I got 3 250s on Brick Breaker, and then I got 2 more scores above 200. And I helped with every challenge and every immunity. And so I was like, I did play, and I missed out on the last resurrection immunity by mere seconds. And so, yes, I did get eliminated, but I did play too.
Yeah.
You played hard, and I did say that. Like I definitely was. I, in the end, was looking at the people who managed to stay in the whole time because I felt like that was a really, really hard task.
I agree. I 100%
that was where, but also you played hard. I was absolutely not voting for anybody in the blue tribe. Period. Full stop. They literally were saying out loud, I was lazy and doing the bare minimum. I saw that multiple times. I'm like, no, not compared to people who are spending like 8 hours playing Brick Breaker. No, not voting for you. By the way, this is the one. 422 was the one who was pretending to be Yes to Crypto. We took them out because we knew they were pretending to be you. So we actually, the last time we took them out for you. I got your revenge, Yes to Crypto. I didn't say that. Or I found somebody to take them out. Don't worry. And 19. They were also 199. We took them out too.
I will say, once we started finding out people were going for Green Tribe, is like the issue is that somehow last year I was playing with multiple and I had an old Telegram account that I just like resurrected. And the issue is I don't leave any of the group chats on this like random abandoned account. And so I'm randomly getting added to like Telegram groups on this other thing. So I'd like flip back to look at it. And I was like, oh, these people are adding this random account that they don't know to group chats. And then in the group chats saying that they're voting for me out. And I was like, this is so silly. So then I go back to my normal Telegram and everyone knows this. They're like, Ted, who's voting you out? And I'd just be listing off the numbers that I saw in the group chat.
That's awesome.
He's like,
shitting on me and my friends. I was like, okay.
She's like, hold it for a second. Oh, okay. Towards 734. Like, all right, someone get 734.
Go get this one. It was really funny because I had a lot more information that people on my own tribe had no idea that I had because people kept sending me stuff. They kept just sending it, and Yes to Crypto, I think you were in one of my chats, like, there was some stuff being sent to us that because I knew them from elsewhere, it was so funny. So it was like, oh, I know who you are now. Like I knew that 422 was who that person was. And it's like, and after the game, they were like, they sent something to me and I'm like, hey, I know you were 199. I know you were 422. You as a person, lovely, nothing against you, but I was absolutely making sure those were gone. Like you caused chaos.
Ted was saying the same thing. Ted was like, I know these people in real life. I'm going to see them at FarCon. Like, why are they acting like this?
Yeah. It's like, we know who you are, but you're causing chaos and you were putting a target on my back from your orange chaos. So I was like, you gotta go. Oh, sorry. No pact. No pact. Bye-bye.
I will also say
fun.
that the early game, you can't make alliances and cabals. It's just impossible to get that many people except for a Google Sheet. But at the end of the game, those cabals,
it's a different story.
You have to coordinate as fast as possible.
Your cross tribe alliances are what's going to be necessary in the end, but it's
Yeah.
hard to get to the end. So you got to play the tribe. You got to play strong. You got to try and win immunities. Like that has to be goal one. Because if it's not goal one, like you're losing, you're
like-
selling yourself short.
But it's
Yeah.
hard because like on Pinball Challenge, like I forget who it was. I think maybe it was the Brick Breaker. Kate, I was watching Boys Club and she was like, I was on silver and she was like, I played for 8 hours. And then she was like, but we had 3 zeros. So we were like never going to get immunity.
You had
So
to
then
get them
if
to
that
play.
was me on
Yeah.
a Sunday, I'm like, I would probably just be like, okay, F that. We're not going to get immunity. Let's come back for voting tonight and figure it out. But like, then people are like, oh, but you didn't play pinball long enough. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
I don't
Then
know,
I'm taking
cut
you
your
out.
losses,
Me
like-
personally, I'm taking you out for that reason. Like if you're a 0 or you know, I played for 5 minutes. No, not unless it was your
Really?
birthday
But
or
like,
something.
what
Give
if
me a
you
good
knew
reason.
that you weren't going to get immunity? Like,
Yeah.
like I would almost be like,
we talked
okay,
about
everybody.
your tribe, Ted, that green seemed really organized about if you knew people were going to be zeros, like you got their NFTs. Like in Aqua,
Yeah, same.
you realized at the end, like, wait, there's people with low scores, like give someone else your NFT. And we had wished we had done that earlier.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that
And that was, we had, I think CJ, who's in the chat, she was going around and trying to grab all these zeros and say, go play, like, just go play, just go put numbers on the board, anything. Hayden Adams was still in our tribe at that point. Hey, we're like, Hayden, anything, just hit W. Cause he was like, we were like, here's a script. And he was like, no, I'm not. And like, just hit W, just, hit up for like a little bit. We need no zeros. And it was really funny.
you're
It's
nice
so
that you're like
funny.
anything. Because my chat was, if you're not 200 or above, you're out. Like you need to get above 200.
But also
like,
I just want, like, I want people to stay in the game who want to play the game.
Same.
Like if you don't want to play the game, like that's why like the 0 was important. Like if you're not going to even bother playing and you don't have a good reason, then get out of the game. I'd rather keep the people who really want to play.
That's how I felt. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, when I would see like the spreadsheet leaders get voted out or like other people, I was just like, guys,
unless they were messing with the
like,
spreadsheet.
Come on. I was like, the best part about this is how much people like care and are willing to put into it. And so like we need to keep those people alive. And then by the time like day 8 or day 9, you're kind of like, oh, this person will probably kill me before I kill them. That's when you need to start thinking about it. But I will say we were at an advantage because I played last season and then I was on the Skywalkers, which was like purple and blue merged, and we called ourselves Skywalkers. And it was also a weekend. And so I knew. And that was when people sent me their NFTs because someone was like, I'm going hiking. And I was like, oh, you're going to get us a big fat 0. So I was like, if you want to share your NFT, I can play for you. And so like we had already gone through it. So as soon as the challenge came out, I literally was like, guys, send me your NFT. And then I was dumb and didn't send the NFTs back before the challenge was over. And then everyone was like, why do you have so many? And I was like, no.
Oh, right. Because the
scoreboard
looked funky.
Yeah, it did. And I agree. It looked really funky. Everyone was like, what's going on here?
Well, the other thing too is it backfired for me because I was playing on Humpty's NFT and I got so into it trying to save him that I ran out of time to save my main account. And so my main account was like a resurrection immunity, which would actually be super beneficial to survive another day, another vote.
Right.
And I just got so locked in. And
that's so funny. It's so funny.
Eliminated myself.
That happened on Aqua too with some people. They played for someone else and they got a higher score on the person they played for than themselves. And that's where my opinion was like, well, no, you should be saved because you played for multiple people and you did.
Right. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I wouldn't take people out by score, but if you didn't play at all and you didn't put any effort in, why? I'm like, leave it for somebody who wants to be here.
I will say Erica is like an unsung hero because I know on every single game you like crushed it. And then also on the immunity things. So like from the immunity things on the last day, when there was like 3 different immunity things, one was like writing and singing and then the other ones.
Yeah.
Erica was just like on lock. And I was like, I think this is it. And then we were like both sending each other screenshots to like try and figure out the immunity. And I couldn't figure it out. And like Erica is an underrated at this game because I like if you didn't get immunity that day, I swear you missed out on it.
You're gonna go. Yeah.
the
Seconds.
next person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there was,
Which
so
is
I was
so hard.
immediately when we merged, I'm like, there's a hidden immunity idol somewhere here. And I'm pulling everything. I'm like, it's somewhere in this area. I know it is. And it wasn't set yet. It hadn't launched yet. So I spent 2 hours just messing around, trying to figure it out, messaging Martin, who is brilliant. I'm like, Martin, go look at the code, see what you find. Tell me what you see. Like, I'm trying to get in, like, I'm like, something's here. And then everyone going, I don't think so. I don't think there's any hidden immunity. I'm like, there's 100% absolutely a hidden immunity idol here. And it turned out to be 3 different ones. I'm like, you guys, he's absolutely not going to let us sit around for the day and do nothing. I'm like, there's hidden immunity. And as soon as like I walked away to get something to eat 2 hours after like staring at the screen and trying every possible thing is when it happened. And I come back and I'm like, shit. If I had just kept going, it probably would have had it because I was right in the ballpark. And I'm like, but that was awesome. Like it was really fun. And that was some of the most fun for me was like trying to figure out the challenges, even if they were over. Even if I couldn't win immunity anymore, I wanted to do them if I could, because I just wanted to see if I could. This is my last question to you all, but one thing first, really quick. And then my last question to you all. I know who killed me. I've sent you a DM, just letting you know. I know who took the final shot, I should say. So anyway, the bounty that I put out was great, fantastic. And it was really funny to see other people doing the same thing. And I thought it was hilarious. But what was your favorite part of the game? And if I don't know that this is going to be run again, like he kind of said he might pivot to something else. What would you play again? So I'll just go right down the line. Humpty, what was your favorite part of the game? I should have gone to somebody else first.
No,
I can save you,
because
Humpty.
We'll go to
if
Poe.
you-
Poe has okay.
if
Go
you-
ahead, Humpty.
No, if
Go ahead.
you listen to what I've said before, I said that I was completely caught by surprise. I thought it was going to be a skill game and not just purely a social game. So I wanted to
Ooh.
see more games, and so I was a little disappointed. It might also be because I was spoiled by Castaway. I think GM Farcaster's done a really good job with
Cast
that.
out. Yeah,
Incorporating more of the games and the Farcaster
That's true.
ecosystem. So for that, I would say no, I wouldn't do it again.
Okay. Will you play Cast Out though? Coming in May.
Yes.
Mid-May after FarCon.
Absolutely.
Okay.
If
Good to know.
anything, this motivated me more to do Cast Out.
Oh, cool. That's good to hear. Poe, favorite part of the game?
Cool. I did like the games, so I would like to play Cast Out. So I just want to start there. In terms of something that was just really surprising for me was like the reveals at the end, like the Anon people. Like we had someone on Aqua, like I don't know who he is, but like Proof of Jake revealed that he had the Milady the whole time, and so surprises and reveals like that were really interesting. And even seeing like he screenshotted one of my posts, like being all rah rah, encouraging Aqua, and he writes, Aqua was so cringe, and then like posted mine. I was like, what? So
It's okay. I think being cringe is the best thing you can do. People love it.
Funny. That's so funny. Erica, what was your favorite part of the game?
I had 2 favorite parts. I love puzzles, so like the puzzles were so fun to me. But I think my penultimate favorite part was like I met several Canadians like on my team, and I was like, oh my god, the Canadians, they're here! Like one of us has to win, please, for the love of God. And I found 2 people in Montreal, and so I'm messaging them to like grab coffee in a couple of weeks.
I love that.
So
It's the friends. It's the friends we made along the way. I love.
Exactly.
By the way, Small Orange, shout out again. If you guys want to reveal, fine, but I'm not gonna say. Love Small Orange. Evan, what was your favorite part of the game?
Yeah, so I'm definitely more of a games guy than a puzzle guy. But for me, yeah, it was the Green Tribe. It was just, yeah, I was going to say friend to make along the way as well. But Green, we just had so much fun. Like, we really weren't focused on any other tribe. We were really just focused on ourselves and like trying to save as many of us as possible. And anyone who was trying to keep them around, it really was true.
Okay, love it. Christopher, favorite part of the game?
Yeah, my favorite part was sending 5 people to die to kick out Erica from this game, and then her reaction the next day. I'm just kidding. No one came after
We
you.
tried to
Erica.
save Erica.
No,
I
Yeah.
tried
yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anyone cares, it was Christopher who could have saved me and did not.
It chose
I
not
definitely
to.
did not. I did
We
did not
did
try
save
at all.
All
I was like,
did
you know
not
what?
try to save me
all
at
fair
all.
in Crypto the
Ourselves.
Game.
Literally on calls for like 6 hours straight a day, co-working and also gossiping about Crypto the Game for like 7 days
Love it.
straight. Day
Love
8
it.
comes. I'm on the chopping block and Christopher's like, peace, Erica. Nice to know you.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
I did
I
see
understand.
your name. Like I remember being like, oh, and then I was like, wait. There's a person here who like really stuck up for me last year when I was getting cyberbullied. And I was like, can we please? I was like, it's on my conscience. Like, I need to ask if we can switch them around. And Christopher's like, no, because then everyone's gonna ask to save somebody. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I couldn't do it. Like I literally would have been the person. They would have witch hunted me if I did that. And so
That's
like
true.
I was like, you know, with like 10 people were on that call and we're just playing
There
God.
were 10
like
people.
That's why I was
So-
like, I think
No.
people will try to save me until they can't.
Yeah.
Until they just
I
can't.
tried. I
So
tried.
warnings
Yeah.
to co-founders who play Crypto the Game together.
You were never in
Make
danger.
sure
Come on,
you
come on.
trust
You were
your
never in
co-founder.
No. I think my favorite part was probably the bonding that we had on the first day or so. My tribe, my purple tribe, like actually wanted to meet other people, and they're like, let's do memes and all that. And so I carried that forward in my group chats going forward,
Nice.
like having a specific channel for memes and like,
Yeah.
and I think like that is something you can't reproduce in the normal Web 2 world. Like this
agree.
form of cohesion. And like
It can happen
having-
very quickly too. It happens
Yeah.
very quickly, which is really fun. Oop, we lost Evan.
So
Yeah.
it made me very happy to be on the internet. So that's it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Ted, what was your favorite part of this season? How did it
think-
compare to the last two?
I think I had like the same, like what I learned from last season. And Humpty, it's funny you say this, is I was like, oh shit, it like actually is a social game. And like I didn't
It's 100% a
really
social game.
play knowing that last year, because last year I was like the only person really on Farcaster who was playing.
Right.
Like nobody else was really playing who like spent time on Farcaster. And so I was like, oh, I'm actually like out, like I don't know anybody here.
To that
And-
point, really quick, I just want to highlight that, double click on that really fast. Oxen said the week before, everyone's going to disappear. It'll be really easy to be on the leaderboard. I'm like, no, not this year. I'm like, not this year. It's going to be completely different. There's a lot of people playing from Farcaster. I think you're going to see a lot of activity. And it did play out that way. Sorry, continue, Ted.
Sorry.
I just
No,
wanted
so
to
I
like
think,
note
like,
that. Yeah.
that's what I learned from last year was like, okay. And I got second. It was like, you know, I could have been salty or like butthurt about it. And I was just like, you know what? I made so many friends that I'm still lifelong friends with. And so I was like, that's all I care about going into it this season. And it's true.
Oh, cool.
Like you see the best, like you also see the worst, but like I got to see Christopher in a way that I would never have imagined seeing him. I got
For
to
real.
I got to see Erica, like Evan. I've hung out with Evan for like since FarCon of last year. And, like,
Competitive.
yes. And
Competitive.
so,
Mr. Here's your POAP at the door, Evan. Like,
yes.
by the way, like for months afterwards, I'm like, I'm going to an event and Evan's not at the door. What is wrong with this? Like,
Yes.
yeah.
So that was it. And then I think one like funny side thing is I also loved like all the daily recaps that I think like a lot of like women on my team were doing that I loved.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I would say is that Tom Stern on our team, his golf clubs got stolen. And it just
That
became
was
this,
so
like,
funny.
piece
That
of
was
lore throughout
so funny.
every day. And he's also in LA. And so it'd like be an update and I'd be like, oh, they're close to me. Should I go get them? And like it's this like ongoing story. That was like this side
so
quest.
funny. That was
Yeah.
so funny. Also, the memes that Kate from
Oh,
Boys Club was doing,
so good.
so good. Like, mwah. Like so
And
so
wow,
good.
bestie.
Wow,
Bestie.
bestie.
And wow, bestie.
Crushed it.
Crushed it.
Crushed
Like
it.
those two with the memes, like shout out to you both. Those are incredible. Loved. It was great. And like my favorite part was just I got to play Survivor finally because I am a like ridiculous Survivor super fan. Watched every season, every episode as they happened, except for this season because I was busy playing Crypto the Game. So haven't started 48 yet, but I am like, you know, all the way through 47 seasons of Survivor and have watched them as they happened. And like this felt very close to that. in many ways without the
I
mud
was
and the
really
bugs.
afraid of you. I got to be honest.
It was really
I was
good.
like,
I
was
got to
like-
play all those skills, and like that's why when you say Humpty, I didn't realize it was a social game. I'm like, you've never watched Survivor, clearly, because that is the game. It's
I
a
wouldn't want to go
social
head to
game.
head with you. That's all I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't want to.
I was hoping I could
you.
get to
I
the
was
end because
nervous.
I'm like, I think I can do some damage here if I can get to the end. But I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna. It's too many people. It was too. The odds were really tough unless you could win that final immunity. It was really tough. But Christopher, impressed by your. You should go on Survivor, dude. Like you could really do it. Like for real.
It was insane.
But also,
Blown away.
Ted, the other thing I kept thinking about when you got voted up for the final, but then you ended up back in, is that Boston Rob, who is known as like probably the best player of Survivor, came in 10th the first time, was runner-up the second time he played. He didn't win till the third time he played. So it was like,
Wow.
Ted's like Boston Rob-esque.
I was like actually shocked because I was just like, you know what, I gotta get fully focused on work again. And I was like, oh my god. And I'm like in a meeting and we're just like, you're in meetings a lot these days. And I was like, but I was just like shocked.
It was great though. I loved seeing everyone play hard and have fun, and like also it's a game. Leave it behind. Go back to your, like don't hold it against anybody if they voted you out. It was like I have, nothing but love for anybody who took me out. It's part of the game. That's just is what it is. But this is really fun. So we are going to come back with Cast Out in the middle of May. Probably May 12th is where it's going to start. It's going to run for about 10 days. Very different, a little different because you're going to pick. You can either pick or be assigned. You'll be 5 on a tribe. It'll be all tribe game until the very final day, in which case that tribe of 5 will go up against each other in a challenge. And that's how the winner will be determined. So it'll be a much smaller prize pool. It's at 1 ETH right now. I expect it to be like probably between 3 and 5. Nothing.
It's at 1 ETH?
There's a 1 ETH prize pool right now, and I'm working on a few other. We got a few things in the works, so I'm expecting it to be somewhere in the 5 ETH vicinity. I hope, but we'll be shouting out sometime in April, sending out a little form that says, "Hey, apply." You cannot buy your way in. If you're out, you cannot buy your way back in. You don't have to pay to play though. We're getting
we haven't talked about is that Bix Bite bought.
She was supposed to be here. She was supposed to be here. I was like, Bix, come talk about this.
Ted.
I know Bix so well. Like I've known Bix for years. Like this is somebody I know from Nouns, and I'm like, girl, your tenacity is next level. But like, what are you doing? What are you doing, girl? So I really wish she had been here. Bix, we're thinking of you. That's her little crown down below. If you see that little noun towards the end, that's Bix. She was supposed to be here.
Bix is too honest. Far too honest.
Way too honest.
Far too honest.
By the way, for those who've never been in a DAO, now you have. Now you have. If you played this game, now you understand pretty much what DAOs are, which is why, Humpty, how did you not know this was a social game? You know better. It's basically Nouncil with spreadsheets. So, like,
yeah, it was actually the spreadsheets that took me out. It's all the Web 2 stuff. I was like, what is going on? Like, why is every vote dependent on, are you in this Telegram chat? Are you on this spreadsheet?
I will say, Humpty, we watched when you switched teams. We were still rooting for all of our greenies. So like Nani, you, Miss Purple, all these others. And when you took a hit, we were all like in the group chat. We were like collectively, we're like, no, Humpty. We were so sad.
I think you all found out
really
that
fun
I took a
to
hit
watch
before
the
I
votes.
did. Because I was still out with my family, and I came back hours later. I was like,
because it was the weekend.
Am I dead? And Christopher's like, yeah, you're gone, dude. I was like, oh,
dead?
All right, cool. I'm like, can I have my NFT back? He's like, it's sold out to my wallet. I'm like, nice.
Well,
all right.
The thing, I was going to send it back. Yeah. I tried to explain it. I was like, yeah, like you have one shot at this.
Oh, sorry.
and then instantly got eliminated.
Oh
So,
my god, that was so funny. But yeah, like the social game is, and there's a lot of things like that play out that you don't even realize. It's very subtle things that can be the thing that gets you on a list. So, but it's
Okay.
been a blast.
The
I've
best.
loved every minute. This has been so fun. I hope he does another season. If not, whatever he does is going to be great. Dylan, I believe, is going to play cast out. So I'll have to see who he wants on his team.
Can I
but
commentate? I can't play. I'm
Please.
actually I need a
Please.
retirement.
We're going to do a weekly half hour, and we were really good about keeping it to a half hour when we've done it in the past, where we reveal the boat. We talk about what's happening in the game. It'll be every day. It will be, usually we do it like, we could do it at 11:30 Eastern, 8:30
I can do that.
Pacific. And it'll just be also, Humpty, you get the full weekend off. We take Saturdays and Sundays off. So I expect a Crypto Sapiens team tribe. All right. Anyway, this has been a blast. Thank you all for playing so hard and making this so fun. And I've loved it. And with that, everybody, we're going to call it and say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.